Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a review for you. This one's for Super Pixel Racers on the PlayStation 4. It did actually release on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One just a couple of days ago on October 31st. To be honest with you, I didn't even know this one was coming out. I just happened to be scanning the PlayStation Store and saw it on there and it sounded quite interesting. I picked it up and I've been playing it for about 5 hours now, and I thought what I'd do is share my thoughts on the game and what I've experienced so far, just so it'll give you a better understanding of whether you want to buy it or not. There seems to have been a massive resurgence lately of top-down racing games. A couple of them have been really good, like Mantis Burn Racing and Absolute Drift Zen Edition, and Super Pixel Racers is trying very hard to be up there with them. The game feels very nostalgic. It has a sort of Mega Drive or SNES feeling to it. We see a lot of pixelated games these days, certainly on your mobile devices. There's plenty of them to choose from, but they have really got it right with this game, and also the music that they've gone for as well suits it perfectly. The gameplay feels very reminiscent of the era they're trying to imitate, so things like Micro Machines and certainly old arcade games like ACA, Neo Geo, Overtop. It feels like almost a love child between the two of them. And then just to spice it up a little bit, they've added the ability to drift in this, which is basically what drew my attention to it in the first place. When you first load into the game, they give you two options of how you'd like to control your vehicles. The first one is something you're probably used to if you've been playing the more sort of current gen top-down races, which is that you just use your left stick to direct the car whichever angle you want it to go at. You just point it in that direction. But the other option is classic mode. They class this as hard. I find it a lot easier actually, but then I'm used to the older style of games. Certainly like Micro Machines and things like that, what you tend to find is you're just using left to go left, right to go right as normal, but obviously the car is coming down the screen, you then are actually pressing right to go left and left to go right. If it's something you haven't done before, you may find it a little bit difficult to get into, but it's really nice to see that they've included both options in the game, and it's a nice little touch. Once you've selected your control method, you'll be met with the main menu. You'll find that there is online multiplayer for up to 8 people available. Not that I could test this at the time. I didn't seem to be able to connect to the server. Whether that's just something that wasn't up yet or whether there's just nobody playing it online yet, I'm not sure. They've also included local multiplayer via split screen for up to 4 people. Something you don't see in a lot of games these days, but it certainly goes with the feeling they're going for with this in terms of like a retro feel. You would have had that on all the old games back on like the Mega Drive and the SNES and things like that. If, however, multiplayer is not your thing, don't worry, they've definitely got you covered. There's 2 modes here to play with. You get free race where you can try out any of the cars on any of the tracks, so there's no need to wait and sort of unlock everything. And then the main body of the game, which comes in the form of career mode. In this mode, you'll be completing events to earn money and unlock further events. The money is then used to unlock vehicles or upgrades for the vehicles you already own. Upgrading your vehicle is definitely something you want to do if you want to stay competitive as the career progresses. I found the learning curve pretty steep, to be fair, but after a few hours I stumbled across a feature in the options that let you change the difficulty. I would like to say I didn't use it, but that would just be lying. This game definitely becomes very challenging in the later stages. The core game mechanic is based around whipping up the handbrake using X on the PlayStation and drifting as much as possible. As you complete those drifts, you're then awarded nitro, which you're going to need to get past the competition. Team all of that with a tight twisting track, and there is definitely a lot to master here. Within the career, there are multiple disciplines split across 3 vehicle classes. First up, you've got Rallycross, which is your typical race. You're racing against 7 opponents, all computer controlled. You've then got Time Trial, where basically, as it says, you've just got to beat the set time set out by the developers. You've got Drift Show, basically for this one you just earn points by doing as many drifts as possible. You've got Takedown, where you have to destroy the opponent's cars using Boost. You've got Normal Rally, where you basically got to get through as many checkpoints as possible or cover a distance that they've set out for you. And Dam Rush, where you're against 7 other opponents again, but you do have to try and stay in front of them or stay in front for as long as possible anyway. The 3 vehicle classes that they've got included in the game, there's Class C, which is rally hatchbacks. You've then got Class B, which includes cars like the Subaru Impreza and Mitsubishi Evo, although there's no official licenses here, so they're not actually named after the real life cars, but what they've done is they've made sure that you can recognise the cars even with the low pixel count. And Class A, which seems to have sort of your typical Group B hill climb classic cars, including things like the Lancia Stratos. Progression through the career is pretty rapid, and each new class you unlock also means you unlock a new car which they gift to you to ensure you've always got the right car for the next event. The one thing that I do need to mention, however, though, is that the money you earn per event does require some grinding if you're looking to fully upgrade anything. Fortunately though, I didn't have a problem getting through most of the game with only minor upgrades, but I haven't finished it, and it is very apparent that I need further upgrades in the Class A events. Overall though, I would say Super Pixel Racers is a lot of fun. There's enough variety in there to keep you entertained, and the gameplay is solid if a little challenging at times. If you like top-down races, definitely check it out. It's an interesting concept, and I think it shows you some things that you haven't seen before. It's under a tenner on the UK PlayStation Store, and you get a fair amount of content for your money. I can't comment on the online at this point, but from what I have played, I give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. I hope you've enjoyed the review. Let me know your thoughts on the game down in the comment section and whether you're planning to get it at any point. If you're new around here, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any upcoming content, and leave a like if you're feeling generous. I'd really appreciate it if you did. I'll see you on the next one, and thanks again.